see if this is going to work. Good afternoon. No, yeah, it's good afternoon. Is this working? I don't even know if this is working. Good afternoon. Okay. I think I'm trying to do this on Instagram as well, and I don't know if it's working. But anyway, if it is, if it ain't, it ain't. Okay, this one, this is a real quick one. I'm on my lunch break as usual, but this is called Heart Space. As you know, this is a really, as you know, with everything, this is a very chaotic time, and we've been talking about, you know, the self-love. We've been talking about, you know, there's a lot of things that's been coming up, but it is so important at this time for you to understand what is really going on in regards to the fact that there's a lot of stuff coming up. You know, individually, I shared a post that I did. I think this is working. Shared a post. I shared a post this morning that I wrote, I think 2012, talking about we having to work on ourselves, and when we work on ourselves, in order to, have to work on ourselves with any issues that we have, because coming together, you know what I mean, it's going to cause problems if we don't work on those things individually. Well, right now it's that time, and depending on how, I don't want to say conscious or unconscious or awoke, or I don't know, depending on what's going on in your world is really depending on how this information is going to affect you, because things are coming up. You know, there's emotions, there's issues that are coming up, and if you're not aware, you're going to think that everything's coming at you at one time. But what it is that, you know, this, you know, the whole planet is moving into a new way, a new energetic space. All of us. So our own physical makeup has to shift in those spaces. So we're being asked to really, you know, we focused a lot via our head, which is via our ego, but we're being asked to really go into that heart space. The heart space is that energetic space that, you know, don't lie, won't lie. It's a truth space. It's a truth space. But most people, you know, like when they say you make a head over heart decision, you know what I mean? Your mind, you will rationalize things regardless of how you feel. But in this time, we're being asked to feel things, because when you feel, you cannot ignore that the message that feeling brings, because it's always going to be in truth. The heart cannot lie. You can elude yourself, or, you know, to thinking that, you know, that's the case. Oh, I love somebody, but that's your mind thinking that you're supposed to accept a certain situation based upon your own insecurities or your own fears. Okay, so Instagram is now working a little bit. Okay, thank you. This video is called Heart Space. So anyway, now with them saying that this, we have, okay, the reason why I talk about all this, again, I say, you know, I mean, how do we change the vibration of this planet with love? Coming into the heart space is a challenge, because what it does is it forces anything that is less than itself to come up. So that means that you're going to have people around you that's going to trigger emotions. It's going to trigger, you know, things within you that need to be healed. Things within you that need to be healed in a way that only you can heal it. So whatever comes up, if people come up and you find yourself arguing or fussing, or, you know, just being triggered by too many things, and like, oh my gosh, what is going on? This is your spirit, your soul, asking for these things for you to make you aware of what needs to be healed. Because remember, it's not anybody else that does the healing. They can hold space for you, create space for you, but it's actually you that actually do the healing. So operating more in a heart space is operating in a space of truth, because your heart's never going to lie to you. The truth of how you feel is never going to lie to you. You know what I mean? You can pretend as much as you want, and the ego likes to pretend, because the ego likes to be in control. The ego likes things the way it wants to, so it's going to say certain things that you're going to go. You already know when you react to a space from the way you think about things. You can rationalize things very easily through your mind, and it could be totally wrong. But then your heart can tell you with a feeling, and it'll be totally different or contrary to what it is that you're really wanting to do. So that's why most people don't operate from that heart space. But we're being forced to do it right now. This is not a space where you can avoid this. So when this information or when this wisdom comes to you, it's going to come in a space of things that you need to work on within you. Because in order for us to be able to unite, this is the thing. The reason why I do these little videos about little things is because in each one of us, we have things that we have to work on. We cannot escape that fact. So as long as we acknowledge the things that come up, and we can work on releasing them, or work on understanding them within ourselves, it's going to be easier to understand that other people go through the same stuff. You know what I mean? Whether you're rich, whether you're poor, whether you're black, whether you're white, we all go through stuff. You know what I mean? So when we understand that, that is where that unity will begin to be felt, because you'll start to see that, you know, it doesn't matter who we are. When it comes to that spiritual realm, or when it comes to that spiritual wisdom or spiritual laws, none of us are exempt from it. I don't care how much money you got. I don't care who's doing what. You know, when things want to be exposed, when things want to be made real, that is what's going to happen. And this is the time right now. People are not realizing. I've been saying it for a few years. You know, that the ancestors are not happy with the way people are and the way people have been able to, you know, throw stones and hide hands or just do underhanded stuff. Now it's a time for things to be revealed. And in the revelation, it's not just revealing it to you, but it's revealing it to everybody. So everybody's going to start to know what things are good and what things are not good within you or your character. So this is why you have to work on yourself. Because if you've got character flaws that are going to be exposed, you ain't got anybody to blame but yourself. And that's the fact. Nobody... The way that they're exposing people right now is due to their own actions. And it can't be like, you can't point the finger and say, oh, such and such made me do this, or such and such did this, that why I did that. No, it's going to be about you, what you've done and your choices. So if you're living in your truth, if you're living from your heart space, you know what I mean? I'm not saying you're not going to go through issues, but you're going to be able to deal with it a lot easier. It's those that are very much in denial about their own behaviors and attitudes and are always pointing the finger at somebody else are going to have the most problems. They're going to have the most issues when it comes to facing themselves, because this is what it is. This is about you facing you from a space from the heart. You know, the heart is love. You know, the heart is truth. You know, the truth is, if your heart stops, there's no more of you. If your heart gives out and there's no, it's the truth. That you can't pretend with that heart. So it's asking us to go into a space of feeling. We have to feel more than we think. In fact, should have them in balance. But because it's been so out of balance, we're being asked to work on that space of our heart space even more in order to, oh gosh, shoulders are in order to assist the changes that we're going through. So again, the heart space is very important. It's where the truth is. It's what aligns us all, because we all have one. Like I said, we all go through issues and we cannot escape those issues. So until we work on those things, we're going to find that those problems keep getting more forceful. And it's got to a point where you can't escape the way that spirit or the universe wants to bring these messages about. You can't escape that fact. It is impossible. Not because, you know, and I say this with love. I don't care how many ebo or how many divinations you do, when it comes to your heart, when it comes to your agbo ato ashuri wari wafon. Yeah, how you doing? When it comes to your heart, when it comes to your character, these things are going to show itself. The universe, the orishas, the ancestors are not shielding you because you've decided to do an offering. It don't happen that way. And the fact of the matter is, if your Ori has allowed you to be exposed that way, it is a part of your destiny, your journey, in order to heal you. Because you know what? It don't matter, good, bad, or indifferent, our Ori always wants the best for us. Now, we can make a head decision and do what we want. That doesn't mean our Ori doesn't want to work for us in the highest capacity. So sometimes it's going to play in a way where it looks like you're getting your backside beat by life. And it's your Ori putting you through things for you to understand, no, you're not meant to work that way. This is not fruitful. This is not beneficial to you or anybody else. So This is why we have to come from a space of the heart. That heart energy, that heart space is that space of love. That heart space is a space of truth. You know what I mean? And truth, regardless of who, what, where, when, the truth does not need defending. You know what I mean? And that's what we have to understand as a collective. You know, there's so much, you know what, there's so many topics that I know I'm going to have to address, especially as a collective, that, you know, that we have to work together. You know, there is some, you know, okay, you can see people that don't work from the heart space. And those people that want to destroy our world or want to bamboozle us, want to not just destroy our world, but want to, want to make us basically a part of their own agenda. You can see those people that are heartless. And I say heartless is that they have done so much stuff that they don't feel anymore. So if they don't feel, you wonder why, how can people be so evil? Because they don't feel anymore. They've cut off that energetic space that makes you feel. Because once you feel, you know what I mean? When you can feel another person's pain, you don't want that for yourself or another person. Especially when you're going through it. So that's why at this time it's like we have to operate more from a heart space. Even though the balance is head and heart, you know what I mean? And when it works in unison, it's basically the head following the guidance of the heart. Because the heart will always guide you in truth. The head just got to realize, hey, I may not have the understanding that my heart has, and I'm going to trust what the heart is giving me to guide me through. But yeah, it's the unison that needs to be. It's the unison really that's going to guide you properly. So, like I said, this is a space where there's a lot of things coming up. So do not get discouraged when you get hit with a lot of different things that are coming up. It's because these are things that you need to work on as an individual to lighten your load, to lighten your space, to lighten your load, so you can receive more information. This is the thing. We're in a space of wisdom coming to us in a space that we have to be lighter to be able to receive this information. We have to be lighter to receive this wisdom, and the only way we can do that is if we get a little uncomfortable. And getting a little uncomfortable is releasing all the stuff that's within us that don't belong there anymore. We've had the experience. It doesn't mean we have to hold that energetic space of that past event. And that's why things are coming up to be evaluated. You know, it's almost like Mother Nature, the earth, wants us all collectively to ascend together as one. So that means, you know what I mean, good, bad, or indifferent, we're all going to go through our stuff. We're all going to go through our challenges, but it depends how we hold that space, how we work through that space. If we can understand that these are things coming up to elevate us, for us to release, then we're not going to have such a hard time. But if we look at it like the world is against us, that's the challenge that you're having. So I'm trying to give this piece of you know, what they gave me in order for us to have food for thought. So, you know, when you're in your own world and you are having your own issues and stuff, that you realize that it's not happening to you, it's happening for you, if that makes sense. You know, for your highest good, for your soul's growth. Because remember, our souls know everything about us, good, bad, or indifferent, of what we're going to choose to do. Okay? But at the same time, it's going to guide us in a way where we can elevate. If we can see the lesson in any situation that we go through, it is not as bad, because then we can learn that lesson. But if we see it as we're being attacked and we're always victimized, then we're going to have more lessons in order to teach us that we're not being a victim, we're being taught something for our highest good. So, like I said, coming from the heart space, which is the truth, which is love, you know what I mean? How do we change the vibration of this planet with love? We all got to be in that space. We've all got to operate from that heart space. And once we start to operate from that heart space, we're going to see a lot of life in a whole new different way. I remember I keep saying to you, we got to create our world. And we have to understand that we have the power to do this. We're not powerless. You know, there's so many people that are waking up to the fact that, you know, we have more abilities than what we realized. You know what I mean? I'm talking to young men at the same time. There's a lot of young men that don't realize that, you know, the problems that they've had in their past are all coming up now is because of certain things that they got to release. This is not their life. They have an opportunity to make a different choice. They have abilities that they don't even realize that they have, because due to their own circumstances or due to situations they've been through, they don't think they can do anything else. So I'm saying there is always another way. There is always another way. And if you allow your heart to give you that feeling, to give you that guidance, you will find it. It is not impossible. We like I said, this is not a message for one. This is a message for all, because we are all going through it. I'm not exempt. Nobody's exempt. I don't care who, what, where, when. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care how poor you are. I don't care what color you are, what sex you are. We are all going through issues that need the heart to give us the wisdom to move through this space. Because that's the vibration that we're moving through. We're moving through a vibration it's a higher level. And until we really get that and really understand that we have more choices, we have more abilities to move through it, I don't want us to keep going through the same problems. So that's why I'm coming with this. Okay, so just remember, we're operating more from a heart space than a head space. It's supposed to be an alignment, the head and the heart, but it's like the head has to allow the heart to give that guidance, because the head with the ego can give you too many different reasonings that could be 100% wrong due to its own beliefs from its own space of insecurities or its own space of low self-esteem. Okay, and that goes back to work that you have to do on yourself. Like I said, all this stuff is coming up to do this work in order for us to heal and elevate. And if we heal and elevate as a collective, those small amount of people that run the rest of the world, it's impossible for them to keep it up. It's impossible. You know what I mean? I keep saying you could pay a man to do the work for you, but you can't pay a man to make you think. So you have to choose to want to work from that space. You have to choose to want to work through that heart space, to allow that wisdom, to allow that heart wisdom. I keep saying wisdom of the heart is so potent, so powerful, and it has the wisdom to eliminate everything that it isn't. So no matter what situations you get put through, whether it's, you know what, I ain't even seen this. Please share more of the Ori. Like I said, your Ori will never guide you the wrong way. It's your choice that guides you away from what your Ori is guiding you. Your Ori is connected to all that is. It is the wisdom that has the wisdom of the universe. But you have to understand that the only way you're going to understand it is coming from a space of you feeling that wisdom. I know it's kind of crazy. How do you feel to know something? But you'll know when something is true. And you know when something is not. Because like I said, you can reason so many things and can be 100% wrong. But you know, when you feel something in your gut and ain't nobody told you nothing, and then it comes to pass, you're like, I knew that shit. I knew that was the truth. Because you feel it. And we've got to get back into a space of feeling. We've got to understand our feelings more than we have been doing. Okay? Our Ori will never guide us in the wrong place. We just have to trust it. You know what I mean? Our Ori will guide us to our highest possible destiny. And you know what? We all have the ability to be in a bigger and better space that we want to. It's our choice. You know what I mean? It's our choice. You know, so, yeah. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I might come back on later on because there's something else that I want to talk about, and because I'm on my lunch break and I'm limited right now. But like I said, this is heart space. Let's start focusing more on our heart space and how we feel in order to be able to maneuver through this. And remember, all the stuff that's coming up now, all the challenging stuff that's making you face you, don't run from it. It's there for a purpose. This is your actual soul giving you a cleansing from the inside out. It's just that externally these things are showing up, but it's showing you that these are the things that need to be worked on from an inner level to get out, because they don't serve you anymore. That's an energetic space that doesn't serve your purpose moving forward. It came to teach you a lesson, but it was not meant to reside. And that's what we have to get to understand. A lot of the things that we went through were not meant to reside to us moving forward. It was part of our journey. And everything in our journey, just imagine if we held on to everything that we went through from a child. Come on now, as babies, you see our babies, you can get their ears pierced. within an hour. They forgot about it from our understanding. So can you imagine if we held on to every single pain that we went through, even from childbirth? And I've had 3, and I didn't have any medicine. Can you imagine how much pain we would hold in our beings if we carried that stuff? That's not what we're meant to do. You can see it from there. We are not meant to hold these pains and sufferings. We're meant to go through it, understand, learn whatever it is that we need to learn, and release it and keep it moving. See you. I love you. I love me too. It's messing up. Facebook is doing their rubbish, so I'm going to get off now. Okay, love you. Love you all, and hopefully I'll see you later. All right, take care. Peace out.